LA Kings fans, this will be my second last vlog of the season, my last recap, as that was the last game that the LA Kings are going to play until next October. And I knew that going in. Everything about this series, there was literally one game I didn't get to watch, and that was the game we won. So clearly it's all my fault. No, everything about this series has been coming up Sharks. And I think my last vlog, I'm going to do like a wrap up of the season and talk about all the things that were not going in our favor. But defense was a huge one. And I don't know if it was 4 of the 5 or 3 of the 5, but a shockingly high number of the games the Kings played, they gave up a goal on the first or second shot of the game. And that's, I mean, you can't do that and expect to be able to come back every time. That's ridiculous. And this time, it was technically the second shot, but the first one was kind of a dump in where Quick covered it and was going to give it to one of the players. You know how they kind of keep the puck in their thing just in case. And yeah, and then there was a stoppage, and so that counted as the first shot on goal. So since that's not really a shot on goal, the first time they shot, they scored, shot for real. And it was just, you just knew. They just kind of knew that this was not 2014. This was not the season where they make their amazing, it was 3-0 comeback. These are not the LA Kings that did that, and these are not the Sharks that let that happen. So the first goal goes in. I'm blaming Schenn for the loss of coverage that got them the puck. Nice tip in right by Quick for that one. And then, well, could have ended up being really bad and actually also could have ended up being really good and was kind of ended up being neither. The Kings took a penalty, and I'm pretty sure it was Schenn. Was not a fan of Schenn this game. Just throwing that out there. He took a penalty. I don't really think it was a penalty, though. It was so there was the play, and then there was, I think it was Hurdle, and it was Schenn, and they were hurling towards Quick, and all 3 of them slam, or the 2 of them slam into Quick, and he falls over, and then the net gets dislodged, and somehow that's interference on Schenn, which I don't really see how that goes against us, since the other player knocked Quick out of his crease and the net off its moorings, but whatever. He gets a penalty. 15 seconds into the penalty, Dustin Brown gets a penalty. And I'm calling bullshit on that one. I promised on Twitter a couple of games ago that I was not going to blame the refs for making bad, well, for basically screwing the game, because it's the players that do that, and whether you're given terrible opportunities or not, you need to rise above them. And the Kings ended up rising above this one, and that's why I thought it could be really good and the momentum could shift. But anyway, Brown takes a penalty, which I'm calling bullshit on anyway, because at the end of last game, Jones makes the most blatant, obvious trip on Dustin Brown with maybe 2.5 minutes to go, and that never gets called, and what Brown does to Jones does, I'm sorry. That is, whatever. Not a good refereeing moment. But what the Kings did, which was awesome, is they did actually rise above it. And they killed the 5-on-3. And it was big. It was potentially momentum changing in the game. McNabb, who I call McSmash, he hit the same shark in the same place twice on the same shift. It was kind of awesome. Except then right after the second one, the play ends up at the other end, and there's another goal that Schenn is completely responsible for. And so it doesn't matter that we're making the big hits because they're up 2-0, not even halfway through the first period. And the Kings can't really get any momentum, and it's just bad. It's a bad first period. The fans who were pissed at the 5-on-3. I mean, I've seen, belligerent fans kind of be like, hey, ref, you suck, it happens all the time, and they make bad plays, but you kind of like, okay, well, that sucks and move on. No, we were mad for a good 5 minutes after this. It was terrible officiating, and this is an elimination game. So, I mean, we put ourselves there, but still, it was a very revved up crowd, and you kind of get to the end, and we're down 2-0, and it's getting a little tougher to keep the momentum going. We come back in the second, and within 4 minutes, we've let in a third goal. And again, I'm going to blame Schenn, because his coverage tonight was just awful. It was painful to watch, and seriously, can we just clone Drew Doughty and have 3 or 4 of him on the ice at all times? I think it was Rich Hammond joked on Twitter tonight that tonight's defensive pairings were going to be Doughty and Muzzin, Doughty and a hologram of Martinez, and Doughty and the lights, which I have over here. The lights was going to be the third pair. So, yeah, our defense looking a little thin tonight. Schenn really, really not helping. So, that's the third goal, and it's just, like, dead silent in Staples Center. Things are not looking good, and then we get the first goal back. And it's Drew Doughty. He was not credited. He was actually credited with this second assist. But you'll see here what happens is that he shoots it, and it's tipped off of King's skate and then Kopitar's skate and into the net. And that's exactly how you would expect the Kings to score their first goal. That is such an LA Kings thing to do, and why we haven't been doing more of it all season, I don't know, because we're not the clean, crisp, just beat the goaltender type goals. I mean, Tyler Toffoli is, but where the hell has he been this postseason? His first point in the season, his one and only point in the season was tonight on the second goal, I believe. So that's Kopitar's first goal of the season. He's also been a little nowhere, but I'm gonna say that's because he's paired with Gaborik and King, and if that's our top line, that is concerning. So anyway, first goal, we're kind of like, oh, okay, cool, 3-1's still not good, though, but, it's a start, and it's early in the second, and so at least we're not taking quite as long to get our comeback this time, if we're going to mount one, and indeed, it looked like we were going to, because then we got another goal. So, this is Jeff Carter, and damn, that's a gorgeous goal, guys. Top shelf, lifts it right over Jones. Again, why haven't we seen that all postseason? It was just beautiful. Oh my God, I kind of want to marry that goal too. Absolutely gorgeous top shelf goals. So thank you, Jeff Carter. We're up so we're still down, but we're not as down as we used to. So that's 3-2. And we're kind of thinking, actually, we were okay. Most of the fans were okay to go into the second or third period down just 1, because that's still a comeback you can make. But no, the Kings were not satisfied with that, because with about 3 minutes, a little over 3 minutes left to go, we score again. And it's Clifford, and it's also a pretty gorgeous goal. Clifford, Versteeg, and Lewis as a line, that was our top scoring line, I think, this playoffs. And I don't want to sound discredited towards them, because they were really good this season, but that's not the line we need to be producing our goals. Anyway, that's something I'll get to next time. But that was goal number 3. We basically immediately take a penalty. It's like not even 30 seconds after that Trevor Lewis gets called, and totally legit call. He broke the other guy's stick. So we kill that off, and we go into the third period tied. And this is why I hate my team, because they got my hopes up. Oh, I mean, I knew going in, based on how we had been playing and how the Sharks had been playing, that this would be the last playoff game I was watching the Kings play this season. I knew it. I, not that I don't trust in my team, it's just what I'm seeing was not enough to overcome what the Sharks were doing. And I was just being realistic. And so to go into the third period with those hopes up and then just be crushed again, I was like, why? Why? They scored about 4 minutes in. I don't remember if I'm blaming Shen or Quick for that one, but I know I'm blaming Quick for the 5th goal. He should have had that, and that was the nail in the coffin. Because 4-3, I mean, 16 minutes left in the third period is easy enough for the Kings. The way they'd been playing in the second period, if they could have just kept that going, that's easy enough to get tied and maybe go into overtime and maybe at least drag this to a 6th game and see what comes of that. But no, they give up the 5th goal, and that really wasn't Quick. Needed to have that. It's just not even a question. So that happened, and it was just pretty much all, it wasn't downhill, because I mean, you can't really go downhill from there, but it was, they knew. They tried to make a little bit of an effort, but we kind of knew for the last 10 minutes. You know how in 2012, when you knew for like the second and third period entirely that once we scored those big 3 goals in the first, we kind of knew we were going to win the Stanley Cup? It's like that, only the opposite and super depressing. Then there was no Chris Sutter dance cam either, so way to kill that dream. We didn't even get to end the season with some Chris Sutter. He was in Ontario watching his brother actually play well. The Ontario Reign beat the San Jose Barracudas, so... Oh, God, the irony. Yeah, then there were the handshakes, which are super depressing to be on this side of. Did not care to look at that. And there it was. The end of the LA Kings season.